Alright, we're back for another episode and getting ready to install cam bearings. So, I'll show you what's going on. So, if you don't already have a tool, find somebody who does. This here's the tool. These ends here do come off. They are interchangeable. These bearings here have two different inside diameters, and the outside diameters are different on them. So this can be changed. This is a smaller one for the rear cam bearing. This one here fits the rest of them. If you're curious about what tool this is, there it is. It does come with that, which I'll be needing that also. Comes with extra rubbers, an extension, comes with two, whatever you want to call those. Part number on this kit, Lyle 18,000. Nice kit. I like it. It works for me. Get all your stuff set up. Your cam bearings, when they come in the box, they should be already in order, in the order that they go in. So this will be the one that goes in the front of the engine, next one back, and then so on and so forth. And as you can probably tell from where they are in the box, the back one is smaller. I'm going to choose to put that one in last. It's just going to make things easier because that back hole is smaller than the rest. So let's get you set up. Move the box out of the way, grab a bearing, set your other bearings off to the side somewhere so they don't fall over. And you'll see on these bearings, this one here in particular has 3 holes. So I don't think that it matters so much which one goes on bottom. They all seem to be fairly in order. So you just grab your bearing, stick it on there. What I try to do, line it up with that, with one of the notches on there. And then what you'll want to do, grab the end of it here, get it on there, tighten this down to where it sandwiches it in between there. Grab the proper size wrench, or one close enough to it. You snug them up. They don't have to be anything too particularly tight. And I guess I should have stuck that on there first. So go back. And redo it. Making mistakes on camera. Hopefully I'm thinking about this right. Yeah. So if you was to put the back one in first, and then you try to do these, and you're trying to stick this through from the back side, this here is bigger than what the back bearing is, so you're not going to get it through. Again, try to get that hole centered up with one of your gaps. What you're going to want to do, at least on this one, mainly all of them, so So your oil comes in from your oil filter. Well, it gets sucked up from your pickup tube, goes directly into your filter, comes out of your filter, and then first comes from your rear main through your rod journals to the next main. It also, when it goes from the rear main, it feeds that back cam bearing. So when it comes up to this crank bearing, there's a hole straight down through that feeds the cam bearing, comes up through the rod journals, back down to this cam bearing, and does the same thing. Also on, say, yeah, these front 4 crank journals. See, yeah, there you can see. So these front 4 crank journals. You may see it in the video here, but there's another hole here that goes down. So when it feeds this crank bearing, it not only feeds the cam bearing, but it also feeds your lifters. So it feeds your lifters here, 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 and here on these front 4 crank bearings. Once oil gets through those lifters, it comes through, see, I believe it's the front of the engine, goes back over and feeds the opposite side cam bearings. So again, make sure you pay attention to your mark. Try to line that hole up best as possible with that there. Otherwise, your cam bearing is not going to get oil to it. I think I got that all right. The other 2 holes also feed oil up to your lifters. I do believe that those went to the lifters. Any doubts, spray some brake clean in there, starting fluid, whatever. WD-40, blow some air through it, find out where it comes out of. Familiarize yourself with the engine. Not a bad idea. And these bearings should only fit in one hole either way. So make sure you get everything set up. You can't really see it, but this white cone right there is an alignment tool. Helps you keep this rod straight. You just press and hold it in there. And you smack the end of it with a hammer. For some reason, that is not going in. There it goes. Alright. So you just pay attention how far back it goes. Pull it out, check it, pull it out, check it. Make sure you don't have it in too far, not far enough. Try to make sure it's perpendicular, parallel, whatever you want to call it. And for these bearings, you should be somewhat flush in there. And I can see down inside the hole. Hole there, I can see the other hole. So I've got this end lined up. Yeah, lined up pretty well. There's probably a 10,000th of an inch left, and I could knock it in, but no need to, because the hole is lined up. Stick the wrench back on there, loosen up your tool, pull it back out. And you should be able to see the other holes. Okay. The other two holes do not feed the can. Lifters. I've seen holes in there. I thought I fed them. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was evidently wrong on that. Those other two holes see absolutely nothing. So why they have a third hole, I don't know. Or a second and third, actually. Anyways, grab your next bearing up, stick it on there, and line it up. And if you don't have it all the way up against there, once you start knocking down, it will, but up against there, it'll get nice and flush with it. Not a big deal on that part. We'll just go through, do the same thing, repeat the same process all over again. Try to look down in your hole if you can. That one is lined up. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, just close enough. If for some reason you need to go through and make it more perfect, you can look down in there. It's freaking bright. Well, you do this front with the engine upside down. Let's see. Make sure I'm looking straight. Yeah. So you take, stick that down in here ever so carefully. Tighten her back up. It could be easier depending on which one you choose for your application. Back down in there. As long as you know your hole is lined up, left or right of the engine. Don't matter how you would try to readjust it here, as long as you're doing everything straight. Give it a little bit of a tap, tippity tap, tappity doo, and okay. It makes me wonder if that one is offset in one direction, because I can see the bearing sticking out over here. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything if I knock it the rest of the way out. It'll fit back through the front there. I'm gonna try something. Maybe I'll try something different. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Probably right back through there too far again. That, turn that around just in case that hole is offset in one direction. It doesn't look like it, but I will pay better attention. Once I get it close. Get it back through, get it lined up, cone in there, hold it nice and tight, smack it again. So, and nice. And inside, as long as you can see the whole hole in the cam bearing, through the hole here, you'll be fine. And if you see videos where people rebuild their engines, or they had somebody rebuild it, and they're worried because they don't have oil pressure, or they have oil pressure but they, well, either or, but they can't get oil up to your lifters and stuff, that would be why. They say you gotta double triple check your cam bearings, make sure they're on there correctly. So this in here, you still put this in from the front. My belief, at least, is that you still have enough distance using the cone to keep it straight. Light. See down in there. Let's go a tad bit more. Perfectly lined up. Plenty happy with that. comes to your front bearing, take the tool back off, or yeah, take it back off. Shove your tool all the way through, reinsert the end there. Try not to scuff up your bearings when you're doing this. It could be bad for you. You can always test fit your cam in there. In the process of doing all this, just in case one bearing isn't right, you can find it a little bit easier possibly. And I believe it's on there. Did that too soon. You'll have that. Get it down in there. Stick your bearing down in there. Down in at an angle. And just work it on there. Line it up. Ever so slightly getting in the right spot. No matter how hard you try, sometimes you can't get the line up with one of those grooves. Not a giant big deal, as long as you can see it. That way you get this front one put in straight as possible. You can see it from down in there either way. Try not to hit yourself in the hand with your hammer. It could hurt. Alright. Still got to go a little ways further. A little further. Nice to do this on a table. Alright. Now I am just a tidbit, a little bit far. Not a big deal. Just undo that. Since it's already in there and straight, and just come back through the front, knock it back just a smidge bit. So, the wrench, get wound up in there. All is right in the world. Just take time. No, I kind of went a little bit too far. Again. Should have stopped when I was ahead. If you pick one of these where this will actually fit through the bearing, it makes it a little bit easier, but if you want to get the right one, you just get the one that doesn't. And this tool is aluminum, so it shouldn't just scuff up your cam bearings if you're worried about it. But make sure this is snug to your bearing. Otherwise it may slip on the inside and scuff it up. Alright. And there we go. It's not always perfect. Sometimes you get your hole just a little bit off. If it's not dead on perfect, then you'll probably be okay. But if you get it wrong, knock it back out, retry it. Not nothing major on that part. I don't think so. I'm sure there's somebody out there in the world who would totally disagree. You can't make everybody happy. Alright. Bearings are in. This here, this piece here comes off separate. You just slide it off. Put the other one on. It does have a lip on the inside of it there to keep it from sliding back too far on that. It only goes on so far. I believe, at least with the 5.2 Magnum here, that the rear bearing is small enough. These are the old ones. That will fall through those. So that's why you don't put the back one in first. Or at least, I mean, you could. Really wouldn't matter, but that's why I didn't put it in there first. It's smaller. If you got to take your tool in and out of that hole, take a chance of scuffing it. You don't want to scuff it up. We'll grab the last one out here. Always inspect your bearings. Good reason why right there. You got a little bit of rust on there. So we'll clean that up. Box off to the side. It does have, you can feel it with a fingernail. Not good. Grab yourself some emery cloth, a file, and all you want to do, get a real lightly on it and clean that up. Nothing major. You don't want to take off any material. You just want to clean up that rust. Didn't have no issues with the cam bearings I put in this thing before. Really wouldn't expect to see any issues with it now. A little bit of a burr there on the edge. Clean that up. A little bit of burr there. It don't take much. It is a soft metal. I'm fine with that. Okay. File back. Same thing. Try to line that up. Spun up on there. Pretty close. Tighten up. Snug it up. Snug it up like Snuggy Bear. If you had a Snuggy Bear. Alright. This in here. You can see the vein on all of these actually. From the hole here all the way down. So it's not too difficult to try to get it lined up. And again, if you're just a tad bit off, not the end of the world. So alright. Before you get too far in, double check it. This hole here is at an angle. I can still see where it is. And there we go. Cam bearings are installed. Loosen it back up. Pull your tool out. Stick it wherever. Now, if you can go through, wipe out your bearings just in case there was any shavings that got knocked off of them from where they scraped going into the hole. Hopefully they didn't. It does happen. I'm going to go back to the point to where I said the one bearing was sticking out, protruding from the hole a little bit. They could be wider. It's neither here nor there. They're the same size as what the OEM factory ones probably are. But I can see the front lip of this one sticking out. This one here, I can see it sticking out a little bit too. And this one, this very front one, is almost flush. I think it protrudes from the block just a hair bit, maybe 10 or 20 thousandths. Probably closer to 10. Main thing for oiling purposes, make sure your holes are lined up. Then just when you think you're done, don't give up on it. grab your cam, and make sure it fits. You can dry fit it. Not going to damage anything if you do. All you're doing is dry fitting, making sure it goes. Try not to scuff up your bearings. Get it in there as straight as you can. Pull it out of the way. Once you get so far, it does go in a little bit tighter. Once you get it in straight, you get a tool you can screw into the end of it. That's great. It would assist on getting it in there easier. I do not have one, but there it is. Cam is in. Try to wiggle back and forth. It's got the clearance it needs, and it does spin. If you stick your cam in there and you cannot spin it by hand like this, no special gears or nothing on the front, you should just be able to grab it and spin it. Then if it just spins too tight, then you got to pull your bearings back out, figure out which one it is that's causing the no spin, clearance your bearing, or go buy some different ones, preferably a different brand, and then start again. Just make sure whatever you do it right the first time. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.